Welcome to TelehealthFX Talk. Today's episode could save you from a serious health scare. We're talking about compounded semaglutide. Is it safe? What are the real risks? And how do you protect yourself in a market that is flooded with questionable products? This topic connects directly to our very first episode about the FDA compounding ban, but so much has changed since then that we need to give you the updated picture. The regulatory landscape has shifted dramatically. The FDA has cracked down hard, and consumers are more confused than ever. If you want to skip the confusion entirely and work with a legitimate, transparent clinical program, visit TelehealthFX.com. That's TelehealthFX.com. No shady compounding workarounds, real medications, real providers.
So let me set the stage with a quick timeline, because this context is critical. Before February 2025, semaglutide was on the FDA's drug shortage list. When a medication is on the shortage list, compounding pharmacies are legally allowed to create their own versions. This made sense during the shortage because patients couldn't get the FDA-approved product. Then, on February 21, 2025, the FDA officially declared the semaglutide shortage resolved. That meant the legal pathway for compounding pharmacies to produce what are essentially copies of FDA-approved semaglutide products was ending.
The FDA gave a grace period. 503A pharmacies, which are your typical state-licensed compounding pharmacies that fill individual prescriptions, had 60 days to wind down, which ended April 22, 2025. 503B outsourcing facilities, which are the larger operations that can produce batches, had 90 days, ending May 22, 2025. And then in April 2026, the FDA went even further and proposed completely removing semaglutide, tirzepatide, and liraglutide from the 503B bulks list, which would permanently prohibit outsourcing facilities from compounding these medications from bulk ingredients.
So as of right now, in May 2026, the enforcement discretion period has ended. Compounding what is essentially a copy of FDA-approved semaglutide is generally no longer legally permitted. Yet despite this, compounded products are still circulating. Some from legitimate pharmacies that operated during the shortage, some from operations that are now operating in a legal gray area, and some that are flat-out fraudulent.
And this is where the safety conversation becomes urgent, because the FDA has documented serious safety concerns with compounded semaglutide products. Let me walk through the big ones. First, compounded drugs do not go through FDA pre-market review. That means no independent verification of safety, efficacy, or quality before the product reaches you. When you take an FDA-approved medication, it went through years of clinical trials, manufacturing inspections, and quality control checks. Compounded versions skip all of that. You are trusting the individual pharmacy's internal quality control. Second, the FDA has received hundreds of adverse event reports related to compounded semaglutide, including cases that required hospitalization. Many of these involve dosing errors where patients or healthcare providers miscalculated doses, leading to severe nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. With FDA-approved products, the dosing is standardized. With compounded products, the concentration can vary, the delivery mechanisms can differ, and there's more room for error. Third, sterility and contamination. FDA inspections of compounding facilities have revealed cases of unsanitary conditions, lack of proper sterility protocols, and inadequate quality control. This is a medication you're injecting into your body. Contamination is not a minor concern. Fourth, fraudulent products. The FDA has identified products labeled as research grade or not for human consumption being sold online. These come from completely unregulated facilities and can contain incorrect ingredients, wrong dosages, or no active ingredient at all. And here's one that many people don't know about. The FDA specifically flagged that some compounders were using semaglutide sodium instead of semaglutide base. These are different chemical forms. Semaglutide sodium has not been the subject of the same clinical trials and safety testing as the base form used in FDA-approved products. So even if you're getting semaglutide, you might be getting a different molecular form than what was actually tested in the clinical trials. And then there's the cold chain issue. GLP-1 injectables require proper refrigeration. If your compounded product arrives warm without proper temperature-controlled packaging, the medication may have degraded and could be ineffective or potentially harmful. This is a real problem with some online compounding operations that cut corners on shipping. Now, I want to be fair here. Not all compounded medications are dangerous. During the shortage, many legitimate, state-licensed, quality-focused compounding pharmacies produced safe products that helped patients who couldn't access the brand-name medications. The issue isn't compounding itself. It's the lack of standardized oversight, the quality variation between facilities, and the fraudulent operators who exploit consumer demand. So if you're currently using a compounded product or considering one, here's how to protect yourself. These are the questions you need to ask. Number 1, does the pharmacy require a valid prescription from a licensed provider who has evaluated your medical history? If they're selling without a prescription, walk away immediately. Number 2, is the pharmacy licensed by the State Board of Pharmacy? You can verify this through your state's Board of Pharmacy website or through the Alliance for Pharmacy Compounding's Is It Legit tool. Number 3, does the pharmacy have PCAB accreditation? That stands for Pharmacy Compounding Accreditation Board, and it's a third-party quality evaluation. Number 4, do they test for sterility and potency using independent third-party laboratories? Number 5, can they provide a certificate of analysis for the active pharmaceutical ingredients they use? If they can't answer these questions, you should not be using their products. And here are the red flags that should make you run. No prescription required, products that claim to be compounded Ozempic or compounded Wegovy using brand names they shouldn't be using, prices that seem too good to be true, labels that say for research purposes only or not for human consumption, no verifiable physical address, products that arrive without proper cold chain packaging. And this brings us to why platforms like TelehealthFX exist. In a landscape that is full of questionable compounders and outright fraudulent operations, TelehealthFX represents the transparent, clinically supervised alternative. You know what you're getting. You know who prescribed it. You know how it's handled. Their providers are licensed clinicians who conduct 24-hour provider review and one-on-one onboarding. They offer semaglutide, tirzepatide, NAD+, sermorelin, and berberine, all with transparent pricing, no hidden membership fees, 2-day UPS shipping with proper handling, licensed in all 50 states. Visit TelehealthFX.com. That's TelehealthFX.com. The bottom line is, the era of cheap, easily accessible compounded semaglutide is ending. The FDA has made that clear. And if you're still using a compounded product, you need to ask the hard questions about where it's coming from, how it's made, and whether the pharmacy is operating within the current regulatory framework. Your health is too important for shortcuts. If you want the peace of mind that comes with a legitimate clinical program, visit TelehealthFX.com. That's TelehealthFX.com. Take the free qualification quiz. Connect with a real provider. Get real medications with real oversight. That's TelehealthFX.com. And as always, everything on TelehealthFX Talk is for educational purposes only. This is not medical or legal advice. The regulatory landscape around compounding is complex and evolving. Always consult with your healthcare provider and ensure your medications come from verified licensed sources. Individual results vary. Thanks for listening. Share this episode with anyone you know who's using a compounded GLP-1 product. They need to hear this. We'll see you next time on TelehealthFX Talk.